Evolution of Michael Darling. Peter Pan, 1953. Michael loves hearing his older sister Wendy's stories of Peter Pan and plays Peter Pan while his older brother, John, plays Captain Hook during their nursery games. When Peter Pan appears later, Michael is asleep but awakens as Peter Pan chases after Tinker Bell. He is allowed to accompany Peter Pan, Wendy, and John to Neverland and chooses to bring his teddy bear. Nana sees this, terrified, and tries to stop them. Michael sees this and spreads some of Tinker Bell's pixie dust at Nana, causing her to fly, and he calls her to follow, but not realizing that she's being held back by the leash still attached to her collar and is left behind waving at him. In Neverland, he goes off to hunt Indians with John and the Lost Boys. After finding a feather and tomahawk, he plays with them for a bit but realizes they are about to be ambushed by the Indians. He tries to warn the others, but they don't listen and the entire group is captured by the Indians. They are taken to the Indian camp, where the chief reveals that they are being held responsible for the capture of his daughter, Tiger Lily. Though he threatens to burn them at the stake if she is not returned, this punishment is avoided thanks to Peter Pan rescuing her from Captain Hook, the real kidnapper. In the end of the movie, a large fight breaks out with Captain Hook, and Michael participates by banging a pirate on the head with his teddy bear, which is revealed to have been stuffed with a cannonball. Afterwards, he returns home on the Jolly Roger and is asleep by the time George and Mary return home. Peter Pan, 1988. Peter Pan is an Australian 50-minute direct-to-video animated movie from Burbank Movies, Australia. It was originally released in 1988. The movie is based on J. M. Barrie's 1911 novel Peter and Wendy, adapted by Paul Leedon, which was in turn based on the 1904 play Peter Pan. Peter Pan and the Pirates, 1990. In the episode, The Dream, Michael keeps having a strange nightmare about the crocodile and a red eagle, which just cannot stop and only chases him. It's up to Peter and the Darlings to find out what it means and stop it for good. The Indian chief gives them advice they start to follow. Unfortunately, Hook wants to interfere as usual. House of Mouse, 2001. Michael made frequent cameos on House of Mouse alongside Wendy and John and Peter Pan. In Ask Von Drake, he makes a cameo during the Ludwig von Drake song. Mickey's Magical Christmas, snowed in at the House of Mouse, 2001. Michael can be seen during the finale song, with Peter, Wendy, and John. Return to Neverland, 2002. Michael didn't appear in the sequel and wasn't mentioned by any of the characters, including Wendy. However, he made a couple of shadowy cameos on some Starry Night Clouds That Light Up by Tinker Bell, to begin with, flying with Wendy and John and tagging along with John and the Lost Boys to the Indian camp. His nephew, Danny, seems to strongly resemble him in appearance and personality. Peter Pan, 2003. Michael is a Caucasian young boy who has light skin. He also has messy, shaggy brown hair and a slender build. Robot Chicken, Season 8, 2006. In the episode, Taken to Neverland, Brian Mills goes to Neverland and rescues Darling's children from Peter Pan, Lost Boys, mermaids and Captain Hook. Michael doesn't take his teddy bear with him. A Poem Is, 2011. A Poem Is a mini-series featured on the Disney Junior Channel. The series consists of 21 retold classic poems read by celebrity guests. Each episode begins with several young children speaking about what they believe a poem is. The series' most notable feature, however, is that the clips are taken from classic and current Disney animated features and shorts. Jake and the Neverland Pirates, 2012. Michael appears in the Jake and the Neverland Pirates special, Battle for the Book. In it, Captain Hook has stolen the book containing Peter Pan's adventures with the intent of destroying it as well as the stories of Neverland forever. To save it, Wendy, John, and Michael team up with Jake and his crew to race through London, and eventually, Neverland itself, to stop Captain Hook. Michael appears once again in the series finale, Captain Hook's Last Stand, where he, Wendy, and John visit Neverland to take part in Peter Pan's homecoming celebration. When he is finally defeated by a magically equipped Captain Hook, Michael and the other young heroes work together to save him. Once Upon a Time, 2013. Michael and the rest of the Darling family appear in the Season 2 episode, Second Star to the Right. He is portrayed by child actor Benjamin Cook. After a boy named Balefire was welcomed into their family, he and John overhear him one night warning Wendy to stay away from a shadow that looms outside the window. Wendy ignores his advice and travels to Neverland with it. She brings bad news on her arrival back. The shadow wants to take one of her brothers away to Neverland forever. During the next night, Balefire helps to hide everyone when the shadow comes. However, Michael doesn't follow the plan and risks of being kidnapped by it. To avoid the splitting of a family, Balefire asks to be taken to Neverland instead. In Dark Hollow, John and Michael became employed by Pan after he kidnapped Wendy sometime after the events of Second Star to the Right. Now adults, they arrive in Storybrooke to destroy Pandora's box, the only thing capable of defeating him. While they succeed in capturing it, they are thwarted by Belle and Ariel in the mines. They reveal Pan is holding Wendy captive in Neverland, so Belle promises she will do what is necessary to save Wendy if they do not destroy the box. Saturday Night Live, 2014. When Peter Pan, Jim Parsons, pays a visit to the Darling children, he brings along Tinker Bell's sassy half-sister, Tonker Bell, 80 Bryant, whose behavior unsettles the children and annoys Peter Pan too. Peter Pan and Wendy, 2023. Michael is portrayed by Jacobi Jupe in a live-action adaptation of the 1953 movie.